A large number of prominent psychiatrists, presumably the best trained and most reliable, believed in the 1950s that asthma was a psychosomatic ailment reproducing the cry of an infant. Just a few days ago, me, watched a young woman suffer an asthma attack that nearly killed her, and that would have killed her had emergency medical personnel not arrived less than 10 minutes before she suffocated. Only their intervention saved her life, yet those medical doctors of just a generation ago would have declared her a victim of her own subconscious mind. New theories are put forth regularly in psychiatry and fall by the wayside without fanfare. One can see such theories in literature from a given period. For example, Alfred Bester's all right. Well, I'm almost done. All right. Landmark story, The Demolished Man. In light of this experience, giving the mental health professional the responsibility of determining, without a court hearing, who is fit to possess the means of self-defense by deadly force and who is not, is unfair to the patient, who may become reluctant to seek beneficial treatment, to the mental health professional, and perhaps to the future loved ones of the patient, who may be unprotected at a critical future time. Allowing such reporting to go unchallenged will deny responsible people their Second Amendment rights. Giving the patient knowledge to challenge it will drive a wedge into the trust between doctor and patient, to the detriment of both. For these reasons, I urge the Assembly to reject this proposal as a seductive but harmful idea.
You're right! He's fucking right!
Okay. Okay, listen.
He's right!
All right, anyway. Joseph Rullo, Larry Braccio, AJ Maniscalco, and Don Walker. Come up here for a minute, please. You guys have speeches you want to give, right? All right, the four of you can go in.
That's 5.
That's 5?
We got 7 more seats.
The daughter wants to speak. Okay? Now I have 7 more seats. I would like to give these 7 more seats to someone who might be handicapped or have a problem standing, or someone who's up there in age who might not be able to stand for the next couple hours. Do I have any volunteers who want to go in? I got 7 more seats.
Anybody else have a strong speech, a woman's perspective? We got 1 year, 4 left.
I want to go in.
Women and children first.
I'm a child of God.
4 more seats.
4 more?
You're in the wrong crowd, buddy. 4 more seats.
I have a lot of standing with me.
Come on in, sir. 3 more seats. Look at this, how we don't get along. Nobody wants to
Come on,
we're behind you. We're out here. 2 more, 1 more seat.
1 more seat.
Come on, sir.
Get in there.
That's it, we're done.
We're done.
We're done.
We're done.
Sorry.
I don't know. I think we're done now, right? How many you got now? 12 went in?
I can still count.
Psychological exams before they take office for election.
That's it. Thank you, everybody.
Got something to read. Got something to read. It's not my words, but
Okay.
I got this off the internet just this morning. It's from Campaign for Liberty. I don't know if you're all familiar with it.
Closer to the mic, sir.
Daniel Krause made a statement in this according to our gun rights. And he said, my name is Orville, by the way. He said, Dear Orville, we knew this day was coming, according to a memorandum released by the chair of the Assembly Law and Public Safety Committee. 24 separate gun control laws are going before the committee on Wednesday and Thursday. To put that into perspective, that is roughly 1 bill for every 3 members of the Assembly. What is this? This is security theater. This is our dear sweet legislature running around saying that we are going to do something and only make the problem worse. Most of the measures are innocuous. Resolutions of the Assembly saying to support this or that with no real teeth, but a few are truly horrifying. And he goes on to say, I'll make this short.
Every one of those is horrifying.
All right. And he says, I'll be honest, the very idea of what these bills mean makes me so sick that it is hard to even think straight, let alone type. Not only do members of the legislature want to peer into your mind, should you be so brazen as to want to own a firearm, but they also want to come into your home and inspect the content of your family. But what makes this even worse is that this is just the tip of the iceberg. There are 24 other bills on the table, besides the 24 we got in here, which are just more of the same status agenda to show that they care. They care so much that they are willing to trample on every single right you have so that they can show just how much they care about you. But what can you do? Plenty. Let's call each and every member of the Assembly Law and Public Safety Committee and tell them that this is nonsense and it must not stand. We, the people of New Jersey, already live under some of the most punishing systems of gun control in the entire United States. Not a single one of these proposed laws will make us or do anyone else any safer. Don't forget, just 3 years ago, we had to petition the governor to commute the sentence of a law-abiding gun owner who was transporting his guns to his home in a locked box in his trunk, and he was sentenced to 7 years in prison. Do we really want to make this idiotic patchwork of laws even worse? Here is the list of the members of the Assembly Law and Public Safety Committee, and I encourage you, each and every one of you, to call as soon as you possibly can. Thank you.
All right, how are we all holding up?
Good.
How many of you listen to Gun for Hire Radio? Yeah. Okay. We have a special up right now with highlights from the speeches from the rally last week. This Saturday, we're taping a show. Scott Bach's going to be on talking about what's happening today. Next Saturday's show is going to be Frank Fiamingo talking about all of these bills and laws and updating you. And then a week after, we're going to have Evan Knappen on. So if you want to tune in and listen to it, we'll try to keep you guys abreast of what's going on when we have him on to talk. It's a podcast. Android or an iTunes phone or right off of your computer. Gun for Hire Radio. Who else wants to come up and speak? Come on, sir. You want to say something?
Something one of the earlier speakers said got me thinking. If we permit the legislators, the legislation, the assembly, our elected lawmakers to abrogate or overturn or suppress or dilute the Second Amendment, that means that we will also let them abrogate or overturn or weaken the Fourth Amendment. And if we let them do that, then they will be able to abrogate or overturn or weaken the First Amendment, and then we won't even have the chance to come out and complain about it.
Amen.
How many of you were here Friday? This is a little bit of a day in the park compared to Friday. But I was going to get up and say to the legislature, I wanted to thank them for all these laws because they're so concerned about our safety. Every year, somewhere around 11,000 people across the country get killed by firearms. Twice as many get killed in cars. So I was hoping they'd start legislation to prohibit the unnecessary use of cars so more people's lives are saved. There's a 250,000 people every year die from medical malpractice. And if you've ever been to a political fundraiser, it's all pharmaceutical companies and hospitals and things like that. They don't dare touch that. And I was going to give them a few other statistics as far as numbers go. But getting back to how uncomfortable we were on Friday, and we're still uncomfortable here today, the real statistic I wanted to tell them was this: that since 1775, there have been 1,326,612 Americans killed in wars defending the Constitution. Added to that, another 1,531,036 wounded, bringing a total of very close to 3 million people since our country started that were either killed or wounded to defend our Constitution. What we experienced on Friday was just a drop in the bucket compared to what they sacrificed for our freedoms.
Yay!
What each and every one of us has to do is become voices for all the people that we know that complain and bitch about losing this and losing that, but they don't show up for everything. We have to shame them into showing up to this. We have to bring them. We have to tell them, I know you're got this or that, but I'm going to come pick you up and we're going to Trenton or going wherever we have to go. Thanks a lot.
Hey guys, I'm just a carpenter, you know, but I work with a bunch of different people, and a lot of times I get some of my coworkers, they know I'm kind of I like my guns, and I like the Second Amendment, I love the Constitution, I love my country, and we get into these arguments at work all the time, and there's two arguments that I keep getting involved with. One is, they always come back to me and say, well, why do you need an assault weapon? Well, why do you need a gun that has more than 5 rounds or 10 rounds or whatever? Why do you need so many guns? You know, and I start wanting to get into, well, I got this gun for this, and this gun for bird hunting, this gun for deer hunting. But I think of myself, that's ridiculous. It's not a bill of needs, it's a bill of rights. Okay? Right? We all have a right to own the weapons and the guns that we own. We have a right to it. And there's a process. If they don't like that, we can get the Constitution changed. They can introduce a new amendment. We get this, go through the whole process, go through all 50 states. If they want to do that, that's great. Now what we got up here today, this is ridiculous. Okay? Let's just pass all kinds of laws. None of them pass the Constitution, but what do they care? Why are we out here today? To try to prevent that. If they really want to keep us from having guns, they should go and get the amendment changed, get the process changed. Okay? The second thing that they always say, well, you know, why don't you register guns? Why can't all guns be registered? We register cars, don't we? I said, well, gee, you know, Stalin didn't go in and the Nazis didn't go in and have all the cars registered. No, they had all the guns registered. And then they went and they took all the guns, and we see where that got us. Okay, so why I'm here today, this is my first rally, and I plan to come to every one I can from now on, is I want to prevent that from happening. Okay? You think those people in Nazi Germany in the early 30s, mid-30s, knew what was coming down the pike in 10 years? You think they were all pretty nice people, lived in nice houses like we do? Okay, do you think they knew what was going to happen to their country in 10 years? Okay, they just kind of went along with everything, and look where it got them, okay? I'm not going to sit by and let my country turn into what Nazi Germany and these other socialist democracies to turn into, okay? Thank you.
Hey, just by a show of hands, how many people here do not own firearms? Don't own firearms. Okay, the reason I bring that up, okay, is we have to let everybody know the Second Amendment is not about guns. It's about our liberty. So when people start talking about the Second Amendment, you have to talk about liberty. The Second Amendment is what defends the other 9 amendments of the Bill of Rights. Okay? It's not there for hunting. It's not there to put up on our wall. Okay? It is there to protect ourselves, our families, and our Constitution.
Right.
I'd like to talk for just a moment about the flip side.